better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Hello my bees, in today's video I will be taking you through my entire process for how to set up a still life acrylic painting, and I will be showing you step by step how to go from a photo to a painting. And when I show you my line drawing later on, please feel free to pause the video and take a screenshot of this and the reference photo so you can paint this for yourself at home. This is the painting process that I always use for all of my paintings, and if you follow this, you'll be able to create paintings from your photos as well. It all starts with the subject, and I just love these gorgeous Australian figs. The colours are so beautiful, and apart from being delicious, looking inside these figs is so fascinating to me.
You have a situation where you are really in control of things, that is to say, in which the future is almost completely predictable.
It's like I've stepped into this small but incredible hidden world, an alien landscape that so often goes unnoticed. It just looks like a tiny cavern of colours with so many interesting and complex shapes. There is so much variation and so much to see, all contained within this wonderful sweet fruit, no bigger than a golf ball. I just had to paint this. So after taking numerous photos, I decided that this one appealed to me the most, and I chose this one to be my reference photo. I love the way the sun was shining on the subject, and we have a clear and strong light source and really dramatic shadows and reflections. So here are all the colours that I've used and the brushes. I only used 4 brushes for this piece. I'll be working on Canson's canvas paper. Please be sure to look in the description for further information. Once I've taped down the canvas paper, I will do one layer of unbleached titanium white just to get rid of the white of the paper so that I can judge my values more easily later on. And after this, it was time to get the basic line drawing done, and to save time, I've printed out my reference photo and traced that down using transfer paper and my nail dotting tool. I love this little tool because it doesn't leave any distracting pencil lines on my printed reference photo. Next, I block in all the main colours. After that, I build up all the details. Once the details are in, I will then glaze to achieve soft, subtle transitions of colour. And before I explain that, if you are learning something new today, would you be so kind as to give this video a like to let me know that you enjoy this type of content, and so that YouTube can share this content with more people. Thank you so much. And now back to the video. So what is glazing? Glazing is like adding a filter to your art. Each glaze is painted over already dry paint. It's a thin tint of colour, and it is transparent or translucent, which means that you'll still be able to see through the glaze layer and see the detail that is already underneath that in the painting. It's especially useful when you are trying to achieve a gradation of colour or soft transitions of colour or value changes, and you are trying to avoid the appearance of hard lines. Acrylic paint does have a tendency to leave hard lines, and I find that using Liquitex glazing medium really helps me to avoid that. For each layer that you glaze, you only need a few drops of glazing medium and a tiny amount of paint. You want to make sure to load your brush with more medium than paint. Don't load the brush too much if you are only planning to cover a small area, and keep your brush in the recumbent or lying down position to help with blending the tint in and blending out the edges. Thin out the edges of the glaze as well to give the painting a seamless look. I find that a small filbert brush is the most useful when I'm glazing, but I will also keep a dampened small round brush handy in case I need to blend out any edges or remove any areas of glaze that I don't like. But you do have to be quick with that because the glazing medium goes tacky really fast, so make that decision very quickly, and I mean within a few seconds of application. The final part of the painting is my favourite. We have these tiny but important pure white highlights on the cut fig, and here I'm using a liner brush, also known as a rigger, and that titanium white straight from the tube to paint these in. I have made sure that there is enough contrast to allow that final layer of highlights to stand out above all the previous layers, which is why it is so important to limit the use of pure titanium white up until this point. Otherwise, your highlights will not actually look like highlights at all. So be careful that your previous layers are not too light, because you can't place a highlight on something that is already pure white.